Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Welcome to our forum today. We are blessed to be gathered here today for witness a forum about the people should be legally required to get vaccine BCG. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for being here today. Our honorable panel, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nozur Aimiti Sansir, a president of a Malaysian Occupational Therapy Association will be your moderator for today. Our topic for today will be discussed by these well-known experts. Before forum begins, let me introduce our dedicated speakers. Our first panel, Dr. Nur Adlina binti Ismail, Medical Officer and ESCO Planning Strategic BCG Vaccination Campaign. Next, Ms. Nurul Shazwani binti Azhar, Malaysian Health and Promotion Board Deputy. Next, Professor Madya Siti Aisyah binti Abdurrani, Social Activist NGO Society Malaysia. And lastly, Datuk Sharifah Noraini binti Said Osman from the Federation of National Writer Association of Malaysia. The topic for today is people should be legally required to get basic helmet during BCG vaccine. Dear audience, we will discuss this topic in 30 minutes and at the end of this session, we will do Q&A session. Audience may ask some questions or share your comments or feedback to our speaker regarding this topic. Our forum will start now. What is vaccine? What is vaccine? Vaccine, according to Oxford Dictionary, means a substance that is put into the blood and that protects the body from disease. And what is BCG vaccine? BCG, basic helmet urine, is a vaccine for tuberculosis disease. This vaccine gives protection against tuberculosis infection. Article from History of BCG vaccine wrote by Simunanuka and Tryon states humans have been infected with tuberculosis for millennia. TB infection is characterized by a complex immunologic response, which leads to a unique host-pathogen interaction. Therefore, it makes it difficult to treat and control. So, audience, you already know about vaccine. But the question is it effective if we take BCG vaccine? Without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker, Dr. Nur Adrina binti Ismail, to share her opinion about this topic.
Thank you and a good morning to our moderator, Miss Ain, to our fellow speakers and all the audience. Yes, BCG vaccine is effective. The benefits of BCG have been hotly debated for many years and consensus has been hard to come by. BCG is an attenuated live strain of Mycobacterium bovis, one of the world's most widely used vaccines, and it continues to be the only vaccine used in preventing tuberculosis, or we call it as TB. My point of view regarding this topic is that giving BCG vaccine can help in gaining immunization of bodies since it contains weak mycobacterium that can play a protective role in the host's immune response against TB disease. In children, BCG confers about 58% protection against progression of TB infections to disease and approximately 80% protection against severe or disseminated forms of TB such as meningitis and miliary disease. According to the article by Wendy Vondre, has concluded that BCG is effective for prevention of TB with a protective effect at least 50% overall. For example, studies that being conducted in Canada periodically have proven that infants given BCG vaccines before being exposed to mycobacterium environment found that effectiveness to be 73%, where it is more than half percent. Here, I emphasize that BCG vaccines since infants assist in prevention of disease, especially TB disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Adlina. Based on your explanation, I can conclude that you are strongly agree on BCG vaccine must be taken for our child for protection. Okay. Babies and children under 16 in any risk group will usually be offered the BCG vaccine. And I read an article from BCG vaccine from NIHR Oxford Biomedical Research Center and the Oxford Martin School noted that this vaccine contains bacterium called Mycobacterium bovis, which causes TB in animals such as cow and pigeons. Prof. Nadia Sikasha, what is your opinion about this topic?
Thank you to our moderator, Miss I, fellow panel members, and the audience. Although 2 billion people have been immunized with BCG and is currently an official recommended vaccine in more than 118 countries, excluding the United States. The efficacy of BCG as vaccine against tuberculosis remains controversy. Why is still have controversy? Why are not talking about things you can do to boost your immune system like vitamin D? So I doubtful with speaker one. My view on moderator question: yes, other country may contain different ingredient in BCG vaccine. Yet, in the article from mapping the global use of different BCG vaccine strains said that increasing evidence suggests that these genetically divergent BCG vaccine strains are associated with different protective efficacy against tuberculosis. Different rates are advised even and variable susceptibility to tuberculosis drug. Based on the article I have studied, the author named Paravan Arikia in 2019 indicate the vaccine currently available in Malaysia are unsafe as they contain elements like mercury and aluminium which can be toxic and damage to the body. Through her article also, ingredient in BCG vaccine contain porcine DNA that they may have actually harm the body. So I stand with my opinion, which is BCG vaccine not suitable to given to baby due to ingredient that can harm to body. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Aisha, on describing the effect of vaccine on baby. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Nurul Shazwani to share her opinion why BCG vaccine should be given since baby.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, our moderator, Miss Ain. A very good morning, fellow speakers and audience. Sometimes, sadly, vaccination not taken due to logistic reasoning and people not taking this seriously. But why babies? Why it is as that early? There's a finding here in an article titled "Why All Newborns Should Receive BCG Vaccine," stated a supportive research by Dr. Tobias Coleman, the head of the System Vaccinology team of Teleton Kids Institute, Australia. He said near half of newly born babies' death came from the infection in the first week of life, and 70% of it caused by sepsis, as body is trying to respond to the infection. Babies known as a group having the lowest immune system, so this is dangerous to them. Consequently, there's a salient need of giving the BCG vaccine in the first week of life. At last, this is actually our big role in keeping people awareness in getting their babies vaccinated with BCG as early as days of life to prevent million babies death. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nurul Shazwani, for your explanation. Next, I would like to invite Datuk Sharifah Noraini binti Said Osman to give her opinion about the incident of BCG complication in infants.
Thank you, moderator, for inviting me for today. In my finding, BCG vaccination, which is administered to prevent tuberculosis, is still associated with serious complication to infant. Recent observations have indicated higher than expected number of patients who present to health center clinic because of complication of BCG vaccination. Study by WHO 2000 indicate that severe complications include suppurative lymphadenitis, osteomyelitis, and osteitis, and disseminated infection caused by the vaccine, and the global incidence has been 100 to 1,000 and 1 to 700 and 2 in a million respectively. So most complications from vaccine occur when there are changes in the species of bacteria used in the vaccine or by its low percentage as a result of laboratory error or vaccine storage and injection technique, the lack of vaccine cold chain, and inappropriate vaccine dose. Apart from that, there are case reports of cutaneous lesion distinct from the site of vaccination thought to have occurred after BCG vaccination. Research done by Ballard et al. 2005. So this is important to note that multiple cutaneous lesions may signal in disseminate BCG disease, usually in an immunocompromised host. There are case reports of lupus vulgaris, chlorophobema, following BCG vaccination.
Excuse me, Dato', you have another minute to conclude your finding.
Yes, thank you, moderator, on reminding me. So, in conclusion, I disagree BCG vaccination to be given in infant because there is high frequency of major complication caused by BCG vaccine in infant.
Thank you, Dato' Sharifah Noraini, for your sharing opinion. After a short discuss about BCG vaccine topic, we have two speakers who support give BCG vaccine since baby, and another two speakers disagree on giving BCG vaccine since baby. As first speaker, Dr. Adlina, is it any point that you would like to add to strengthen your point, and why vaccine should be given early age?
Thank you, Miss Ain, as allow me. Vaccine, or specifically BCG vaccine, should be given in early age because it induces the body to develop immunity. I would like to mention that I don't see Speaker 3 opinion that way. Since 1961, all newborns in Malaysia are given BCG vaccine almost immediately after being born. Speaker 4 had mentioned that most complications from vaccine occur when there are changes in the species of bacteria used in the vaccine. This demonstrates that BCG vaccines are most helpful in boosting one's immune system. If the child is exposed to the wild bacteria, it will prevent the infection from getting serious. First of all, TB is not a homogeneous disease. BCG induces heterologous protection against unrelated pathogens. Simultaneously, it proposes mechanism for heterologous protection, resulting a phenomenon termed trained immunity. This signifies that BCG vaccines can enhance our body immune system against TB. Based on Dr. Ma, lung specialist reported in the Star News mentioned that Mycobacterium TB can attack other organs, including brain, which we call meningitis TB. Moreover, 75% of TB deaths involve young adults as they already step ahead of childhood who does not take vaccines since infants. Therefore, I still stand with my belief that giving vaccines as early as possible can prevent disease as it helps in increasing the antibodies in humans. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for your explanation. Next, I would like to invite Professor Aisha to give her opinion.
Thank you to our moderator. Give me chance to share opinion. According to Govindarajan and Chai in 2011, simple BCG lymphadenitis is best managed conservatively, but suppression should be aspirated to enhance recovery and prevent sinus formation. There is possibility because the incident of suppurative lymphadenitis due to BCG vaccination is 100 to 1,000 per million doses administered than mentioned by speaker 4. This data came from World Health Organization in 2000. So through most all article I read, BCG vaccine is performed at birth indicate that the effectiveness of BCG in preventing childhood TB meningitis or miliary TB exceeds 70%. However, speaker 1 had mentioned that BCG vaccine can enhance our body immune system against the TB.
Doctor, your speaker is mute. I'm sorry, doctor. You can repeat again. You mute.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to interrupt. I wonder if you have thought of whether giving the BCG vaccine as early as infancy can help in developing our body's immune system.
I have no objection to that, but based on review article in 2000, in non-endemic country, BCG vaccine is not performed due to the viral effectiveness ranging from 0 to 80% in preventing pulmonary TB in adult and the relatively low incidence of disease of the regions. BCG vaccines still have contraindication. For information, BCG vaccine also has contraindication, which is prevention of tuberculosis should not be given to person who has immunological response or impaired because of HIV infection. Congenital immunodeficiency such as chronic granulomatous disease or interferon gamma receptor deficiency, leukemia, lymphoma, or generalized malignancy. So, I can say that many previous study I see, BCG vaccine have positive side effect in developing our body immune system. That's all.
All right, thank you, Prof. Aisha. Next, Ms. Nurushazwani. Based on point from Dr. Sharifah just now about complication taking vaccine during infants, what is your opinion about it?
Thank you, our moderator. I must agree to use speaker 4, but still I am not convinced that your suggestion will work by not giving babies the first protection. It will never be the best choice in this context. As in this article, I found stated that TB vaccine we use now are the same as the BCG vaccine from 1921 where it was first applied. It was a 13 years research and development before it has been widely used all over the world remain the only licensed vaccine against TB. If we are not using this BCG vaccine, what choice do we have to be protected with TB? On top of this, a little curable side effect is acceptable rather than being infected with TB that is fatal. Nowadays, we all worried about COVID-19, but the sad truth is TB actually kills about 1.5 to 2 million person each year, and this continuously happen over decades. It is a fact that we are it is a fact that we are all latently infected. However, this TB genome could be reactivated if we are not having the TB vaccination as our first protective mechanism. This BCG vaccine prevents childhood version of TB and save thousand lives every year. So I totally agree with speaker one as she hit the nail on the head. Thank you, moderator.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nur Syazwani. Datuk Sharifah, any objection?
Okay, I agree to a certain extent, but let's some are where we can stand in this debate. Eva et al. In her research conclude that we need to reinforce the importance of the level of parental knowledge of vaccine and vaccination. Trust between pediatrician and mother with clear, concise information provided in a language that parents can understand and assimilate is essential. Therefore, physicians should be educated and trained to counter negative attitude to vaccination. On the other hand, health authorities should make further effort to promote the advantage of vaccination and underline the disadvantage of non or late pediatrician immunization to parents.
Pardon me, is it mean that you agree with me, speaker 4?
Yes, exactly. You have made your point very clear.
As we come to a conclusion, that everyone seems to be agree on our topic today. People should be legally required to get BCG vaccine. Is there any question from the floor? Oh, thank you. Okay, there is a several questions from our audience. Okay, question number one from Miss Ita. Is there any proof that people die because of TB and how is TB spread? Maybe we could pass to Dr. Adlina to answer this question.
Thank you for the first question about is there any proof on people die because of TB? Yes, of course, and it has been reported by specialists in Hospital Pulau Pinang Kamengi, 19 years old died due to contracted pulmonary TB. This shows that TB is a tough bacterium. And for the second question on how is TB spreading? TB spreads through the air from one person to another. According to the lungs specialist, infection risk of TB was less in open spaces and more in a confined space. I hope I gave a clear view on these questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Next question from Madam Siti. She wrote, I want to ask question to Prof. Aisha. Is it the price to take vaccine very expensive and the reason people refuse to take vaccine?
Thank you, Puan Siti, for the question. Most of the important vaccine are available free of charge at government health clinic. So cost is definitely not a factor in vaccine refusal. Ahmad et al. In 2017 report that reason for low vaccine uptake are due to several factors like personal reason, logistic, time factor, and heavy doubt about the vaccine, which is halal permissible status. Interestingly, unbearable the absence of evidence on the cleanliness of and halal nature of vaccine has led parents to refuse vaccination. So for this question, I can say that most vaccine refused due to individual factor to an intake a vaccine. That's all.
Thank you, Prof, for your answer. Question number three from Mr. Ali. I think this question is suitable for Ms. Nurul Shazwani to answer. The question is, why we are still having people dead from TB if we are vaccinated with BCG?
Thank you, moderator. It was a good question. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to exactly know that is our first barrier. My suggestion is we are taking BCG vaccine as early as newborn to the first week of life as our body first protection mechanism because our immune system is at the weakest point while we are babies. The BCG effect will be slowly gone from our body in the adolescent or early adulthood. So it is crucial to have a good and healthy lifestyle as we grow for having better immune system based on a study by Dr. Mansoor from Southampton University Hospital. This is because every person is the carrier. So by having a good immune system will help us fight the TB well. I hope I answered your doubt. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nurul. Oh, I just got one question from audience. Okay, the question is, What is the parental reason for reluctance toward immunizing their child? Okay, maybe Datuk Sharifah, can you answer this question for them?
Yes, thank you, moderator. Here, I want to call your attention to an important point that our opponent have not addressed yet about the issues of vaccine refusal among parents, especially in Malaysia. For your information, studies on vaccine refusal among parents have gained the attention of many scholars for many years. Researchers study vaccine refusal from various aspects, including vaccine safety, and effectiveness, parental knowledge about vaccine, and many more. Results from various studies have indicated that parents are not convinced with vaccine outcome. The situation has provoked an outrage among doctors as many diseases can be prevented with vaccine. A study on immunization refusal among Malay parents by Lim et al. 2016 displayed that 75% of parents sample believe in alternative treatment and would rather consider homeopathy rather than conventional immunization due to perceived fewer side effects. Furthermore, 37.5% report vaccine as ineffective and 35% report doubt about vaccine ingredient. This study is supported by Ahmad et al. 2017 and Ahmad 1995, in which both studies found that vaccination is perceived in more negative manner by Malaysian parents. Sorry. Last but not least, I want to point out that the side effect of the vaccine is not the major issue for vaccination refusal among parents in Malaysia.
Thank you, Dr. Sharifah, for your conclusion. Okay, there is any question from the audience? Hmm, okay, I assume there is no more question from the floor. Let me conclude by saying that although the efficacy of the BCG vaccine continues to be controversial, last estimate, BCG is still the only vaccine in use for the prevention of TB in humans. It is effective against extreme form of TB and its use prevents a large number of deaths. Currently, it is difficult to determine which strain should be used, and further detailed analysis of the genomics and immunogenicity of BCG substrate may provide an answer to this important question. The WHO and the International Union Against Tuberculosis and Lung Disease could identify the BCG substrains that provide the best protection and recommend them for future vaccination. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we come to the end of our discussion. Thank you for all attending this forum. Hopefully, this forum will be beneficial for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.